Hello my dear friends and welcome back to another Star Wars news update. In today's video we're going to be talking about the Book of Boba Fett, LEGO Star Wars and more. As always my dear Megalorians, before we dive into the news, please may I ask you to hit that big red subscribe button if you've not done so, and also be sure to give that bell a good old tickle to be alerted each and every time that I post new videos. So without much further ado and without any more jibber jabber, let's dive straight into it. So we're going to start with the Book of Boba Fett and we have some pretty big news. I want you guys to think back to the start of 2021 where I reported on a rumour that Qi'ra and Han Solo were set to appear in the Mandalorian universe. Well, that piece of news has just gained a massive amount of credibility because in War of the Bounty Hunters issue number 1, which has only just been released, Qi'ra makes a surprising appearance. So for those of you who don't know, War of the Bounty Hunters is a comic series about Boba Fett's journey with Han Solo in Carbonite from Cloud City to Jabba's palace. So basically it takes place between episodes 5 and 6. As announced by Lucasfilm, there is a direct connection between this series and the Book of Boba Fett. While the comic book series takes place some years before Return of the Jedi, some of the events will have some direct implications on what we're going to see in live action in December. It's very probable that Lucasfilm told the writer of the series, Charles Soule, that he in some way needs to set up Qi'ra's arc in the comics so that her story is going to blend nicely with the Book of Boba Fett. Now in Boba's journey, a lot of unexpected setbacks happen along the way, and one huge character who we come across is Qi'ra from Solo, as I said. I also want to point out that Lucasfilm would not have Charles Soule write in a big character like Qi'ra unless she's making a big live action comeback, especially based on what we know about the importance of the comics for the Book of Boba Fett. The context in which Qi'ra appears is as follows. Very shortly after the events of The Empire Strikes Back, Han Solo is unstable in carbonite and close to death. Boba needs someone to destabilize him in exchange for carrying out an assassination. When Boba returns from this mission, Solo has been stolen by Crimson Dawn. As you would expect, Boba Fett tries to work out who stole him and finds out that Jabba has put a price on his head because Jabba thinks that Boba sold Han Solo to Crimson Dawn. Boba ends up clearing things up with Jabba the Hutt and rushes to the Crimson Dawn base. We then see Crimson Dawn at a party where they've invited the galaxy's most powerful people. This party is set up to gift Han Solo to Jabba the Hutt himself. It's at this point that the leader of Crimson Dawn reveals herself to be Qi'ra. Now Qi'ra appearing at this point in the timeline raises some major questions. Was she the reason that Maul exiled himself on Malachor, and does Han Solo ever find out later that Qi'ra stole him? So in terms of Qi'ra coming back into live action in the Book of Boba Fett, Jordan Mason hinted at Emilia Clarke being in talks with Lucasfilm a few months ago. So with this revelation, the rumours at the start of the year might be coming true and we could see Qi'ra in the Book of Boba Fett or in The Mandalorian Season 3. But let me know what you guys think of this in the comments down below. I honestly think it would be so cool to see Qi'ra come back into live action and have this kind of tie-in with Boba Fett. Qi'ra making an appearance in War of the Bounty Hunters means that Crimson Dawn is still active during the original trilogy. Considering the Book of Boba Fett is set on Tatooine after the events of Return of the Jedi and The Mandalorian Season 2, we could dive into the criminal underworld explored in Solo Star Wars story, but later on in the timeline and with a new twist. To make it even more exciting, at the time of the Book of Boba Fett, Boba is not the only original trilogy bounty hunter who's still alive. But as I said guys, tell me your thoughts down below. So now we're going to talk about LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, the game that we've all been anticipating and the game that unfortunately keeps getting pushed back. With a bit of optimism, we might have some great news today. On the 26th of June of this year, so only in a matter of weeks, LEGO is hosting its first ever LEGOCon virtually. LEGO has stated that the convention is going to feature 90 minutes of live entertainment. This will include live builds with professionals as well as announcements. A lot of Star Wars fans, or rather Star Wars LEGO fans, believe that this is the conference where we're going to get a release date for LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. The wait might be finally over. According to Nerdist.com, LEGO recently announced the convention, noting that the company is going to hold the event itself in Denmark. So if you're a Star Wars LEGO fan, do look out for this because we might get some kind of announcement. It's a game that's long been anticipated, and remember, we finally get to play as Jedi Master Yaddle. If that's not enough to entice you, I don't know what will. So finally my dear friends, we're going to talk about Boba Fett, who I've spoken about in depth specifically in the context of the Bad Batch. As I said in the last 2 full episode breakdowns, it really seems as though we're getting a tease for him in every episode since the appearance of Fennec Shand, so basically the last 2 episodes. Now I'm not sure if we will see Boba Fett at all in the series, but it seems like a missed opportunity if we don't. This is a really cool article which highlights the little Easter egg we got in Sid's office in episode 5, where we saw the white helmet of Boba Fett, the original white armor. And the big question is, are we going to see him wear it? So they write, the latest episode of Star Wars The Bad Batch has an interesting Easter egg, one which references the earliest version of Boba Fett's iconic armor. The Easter egg seems to be teasing a full appearance in the new Star Wars The Bad Batch series. While the legendary bounty hunter has been getting an incredible spotlight due to his return in The Mandalorian and the upcoming spin-off The Book of Boba Fett, but it's very possible and indeed likely that fans might just get a look into his past during the rise of the Empire. There are still large portions of Boba Fett's life that have never been seen, and the events of Star Wars The Bad Batch would certainly be a dynamic time for him to make a full appearance. Before I carry on guys, I will just say I made an entire theory video about Boba Fett showing up in The Bad Batch. Do go check that out if you're interested in this subject. So back to the article, the reference in question appears in The Bad Batch Season 1 Episode 5 Rampage, and while there were a bunch of different Easter eggs in Sid's office, one helmet in particular stands out. The white Mandalorian helmet, identical to the one used in the earliest test footage of Boba Fett for The Empire Strikes Back. In early Star Wars concept art from artist Ralph McQuarrie, Boba Fett's armor was originally meant to be all white because he was supposed to be a super trooper for the Empire. However, the decision was later made to make the wearer of the armor his own distinct character, and therefore Boba Fett was born. While this white version of the armor was used in test footage, it eventually reverted to the classic green and brown aesthetic used in the films. That being said, the white prototype armor is still fairly well known, and several toys and collectibles have been made over the years, and a recent collectible of the helmet has been made in light of The Mandalorian Season 2. But now that it's finally been referenced in The Bad Batch, could this be a potential tease that Boba Fett is going to make a future appearance in the series? It would definitely be interesting to see where Boba Fett is during The Bad Batch. With the rise of the Empire and the clone legacy of his father Jango being phased out, what would his reaction be? Likewise, fans have yet to see the first time Boba donned his father's armor in the Star Wars timeline. Now, while it could be seen as too much to ask to see Boba in white, it'd be awesome to see him in the show regardless. So I turn it over to you guys. Do you think we're going to see Boba Fett in The Bad Batch? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and are you looking forward to episode 6 tomorrow? If you guys enjoyed today's news update, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you're new, hit the bell, do all that good stuff down below, and I will see you in the next one. I'm Star Wars Meg, wishing you all a phenomenal rest of the day, no matter where you dwell in the galaxy. Have a good one.